Well, we're going to shift gears. On the phone with us, one of our favorites, from MediaMikes.com, Mike Smith. Mike, how are you doing, my friend?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm very blessed. Thank you. So here we are headed into another action-packed weekend at the movies. So what's new? What's on the top of the radar screen for this week?
Well, let's see. I think we had a total of 5 movies open this week.
Yeah, it was a pretty busy week for the theaters this week.
Yeah, we had. Let me go down what I haven't seen. You got Turbo, which is the racing snail for the kids. R.I.P.D., which is a police movie with the afterlife.
Yeah, it's like a dead guy Men in Black.
There you go. And what else we have here? We have Conjuring, Scary, and then Red 2, which I understand you saw.
Yeah, we had talked about that briefly last week. I enjoyed it a lot. I know some of the critics have been a little hard on it, but I thought it was very entertaining.
Okay, and then the 2 movies that I saw this week I really liked. The first one is a documentary called Springsteen and I. That is only available in theaters this coming Monday and on July 30th. It's airing around the world, and it is a documentary of where fans were asked to send in quick videos of what Springsteen and his music meant to them, what their any kind of great concert memories they had, and it's brilliantly put together. Some of the fans actually sent in moments where, Bruce pulled them up on stage, and then the director, Bailey Walsh, he got in touch with Springsteen, had the archives available to him. He goes back, he finds the footage, he includes it in the film. It's really incredible, the connection this man has with his fans, and and it's also amazing how many people he's pulled up on stage to dance with him.
You gave that one a 5-star, definitely the highest ratings. Now the other one I think that you liked, right, was the Way Way Back.
The Way Way Back.
I don't know much about this one, so.
Well, it's written by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. They're actors. This is their first directing debut. They co-wrote the screenplay to The Descendants, which won the screenplay Oscar a couple years ago. It's basically a story of a young boy who is taken on a vacation he doesn't want to go on with his mom and her new boyfriend. The new boyfriend is very acerbic, and he thinks he's trying to be a father figure, but he calls him Buddy all the time. I guess he doesn't want to call him his name. The boy wanders off, gets a job at a water park where he's been mentored by incredibly Sam Rockwell, and it's really a nice coming-of-age story with great characters, fleshed-out characters. Everything in the film, there's nothing that's forced, nothing that's phony. I look for this to be on the short list when the Best Picture nominations come out next year.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really a lot of praise for you to give it such a high regard. So, all right, great stuff. Well, a busy and action-packed week at the theater. So we're gonna switch gears with you a little bit because we have a guest coming on in a minute. It's going to start talking Comic-Con stuff with us. You have the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Mike, have you ever had a chance to actually go out to San Diego? And if not, what are some of the big convention memories that you've been able to experience?
I've never been to San Diego or to Comic-Con. I would love to get out there once. I know Mike G and I talk about this time of year. We get offered a lot of interviews, but the thing is we have to be at Comic-Con to do them. I guess if I had a great science fiction con memory, it would be the World Science Fiction Convention, which took place in Baltimore in 1983. They screened The Right Stuff. I stood next to Jim Henson for 10 minutes, got his autograph. but there was a great story where Chuck Yeager is going for a slideshow presentation for the right stuff, and he'll show this is a lunar module or this is this, and this one kid kept raising his hand and saying, "Oh, General Yeager, shouldn't wheels be down in the plane when it's flying here?" And you could just tell Chuck Yeager was getting madder and madder, and they showed the rocket in mid-space, and the kid raises his hand. He goes, "General Yeager, wouldn't the fuel cell have already been jettisoned at this time in the flight?" And Chuck Yeager looks at him and he says, "Little buddy, let me tell you something Clint Eastwood told me when I worked with him on Firefox." He says, "By the time someone like you notices that, I've already got your money. Now sit down and shut up." And the room just burst into applause. So I thought that was that's like the equivalent of Shatner telling a fan to get a life. I thought that was just a great con moment for me.
That's pretty awesome. Now you have a lot of cons there in Kansas City in the Midwest.
We have a couple. We have Planet Comic-Con, which is here. Not as many as I would like, considering that the Kansas City con in 1976 is the one that introduced Star Wars to the world. It's not that big of a, I guess sci-fi horror town. In Baltimore, we had Fan X. We had them all the time. They're getting better. The Comic-Con here is probably the best con in the Midwest that I go to around here. So there's not a lot of them, but one that's here is pretty good.
Well, we'll be catching up with a lot of the news that's coming out of the San Diego Comic-Con. If you go to theGlobalDispatch.com, you'll see a little San Diego Comic-Con button, a whole category that's devoted to that. We're pretty blessed here, Mike. We got MegaCon, of course, in Orlando. That's once a year. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Our Tampa Comic-Con is growing so much. We're going to get ready to have Steven on the line with us here. He's going to give us an update on the Tampa show. The Tampa show last time, we had a couple of Walking Dead guests, and it was so incredibly responded to by fans that you could barely get in the place. They actually had to stop allowing guests because of fire marshal issues. So it is expanding now, I believe, to the convention center and going to 3 just jam-packed days and all of that. So, yeah, we have Steven on the line with us. Mike, as always, it's just wonderful. Go to MediaMikes.com. Check out all the reviews. Now, some of the stuff that he says he hasn't seen, though, they have other folks that have. There's reviews for The Conjuring. Yeah. There's reviews for RIPD, which they didn't like. There's reviews for Turbo. So anything that you need, check out MediaMikes.com. They have books, CD reviews, all sorts of stuff. Great pop culture sites. Always, Mike. Talk to you again next week, brother.
All right, buddy. Have a good week. Thank you.
You too. Steven, are you there with us?
I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, as we were discussing San Diego Comic-Con just briefly, talking about some memories. Steve, you ever had a chance to go out there?
I have been. I've been there twice, I believe. Maybe 3 times. I don't know. But I've been there before.
Give listeners and fans an idea of what is some of the stuff that's going on. I'm not sure people can even get in their head around what goes on at these events.
Well, to be honest, it's so huge in San Diego that I've never actually walked from one end of the convention floor to the other.
Wow.
That's how giant it is and how crowded it is. So I usually try to confine myself more to where the vintage comics and stuff are. But the further down you walk, there's going to be Marvel and Mattel and all these large retailers displaying statues or new toys or things like that. So a lot of stuff going on in the vendor room, and then of course you've got a whole other aspect of the convention, which are the panels, and there's just basically unlimited panels going on as well.
It is definitely quite the business. And I was reading one of the headlines. It was talking about they spent over $70 million this year. I don't know if
Whoa, $70 million.
I know, $70 million. If you add up all the money from all the different film companies, all the different promotion, all the different stuff, cumulatively it's approximately $70 million. Now, while we haven't spent $70 million in the Tampa Bay area, we are definitely seeing an expansion of the Tampa Comic-Con that you put on, right?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah, so tell us about what the event's going to look like, and give us the dates next month.
Well, it's going to be August 23rd to the 25th. That's going to be at the Tampa Convention Center. This will be our first convention at the Tampa Convention Center. Since we started running a convention in 2010, it's just expanded from a little tiny, local show that got about 500 people to a show that's now getting several thousand. And we're expecting for this upcoming Tampa show to have between 10 and 20,000. So very rapid expansion.
Wow, it's amazing. And I tell you, we showed up last time to the Tampa show. We had a Walking Dead guest. Now, you guys have some of the actors from Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. Tell us about who's going to be there this time.
Yeah, we've actually brought Lauren Cohen back. She was at the last show, and she was only able to attend one day. And her presence was a lot of what set the overcrowding of the previous show into motion. So, since we have a bigger venue now and a lot of people didn't get to see her, we're actually bringing her back. We've got her fellow cast member, Chad Coleman, who plays Tyrese in The Walking Dead. We also have Maisie Williams, who plays Arya Stark in the Game of Thrones. This will be her first convention in North America. We've got Rory McCann, who plays the Hound in the Game of Thrones, and this will also be his first convention in North America. And we have Willa Shields, who plays Primrose Everdeen, the sister of Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games.
Well, tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of different folks. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope that the turnout just continues to grow. People have a good time. You can bring your kids. I think it is reasonably priced. Give me the details on getting tickets there.
Yep, you can get tickets online. If you just go to our website, which is TampaBayComicCon.com, and click the ticket section, it'll take you to our online ticketer, and it's $20 for adults. And if you get the 3-day pass, it's $45, so $15 a day. And kids 12 and under are free.
Kids 12 and under are free, folks. Let me tell you what. I have 5 kids. My kids are begging me to take them to MegaCon. It's just going to Tampa Comic Con. It's just a must. They just assume we're going because it's such a good time. It's a great way to have some fun, get to see some cool stuff, meet some cool people. People are dressed up. There's people dressed up absolutely everywhere, isn't there not, Stephen?
Oh yeah, we have a big costume contest where we award a substantial amount of prize money, $500 to the top 3 of the costume contest. So if you're looking to take pictures with Darth Vader or Wolverine or whoever your favorite character is, chances are you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. August 23rd through the 25th. We'll probably have Stephen on again, give us an update, maybe some of the guests we can get lined up for us on that Saturday morning or something like that. We can dream and hope. But Stephen, as always, thank you so much, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. Check that out. That's TampaBayComicCon.com. You get ticket information, dates, times, and all that kind of stuff. Find out about this guest list. So, Bob, before we wrap up, what else is on your mind? Anything?
Yeah, real quickly, there was an interesting story that I saw that you put up concerning a British woman named Rachel Harris. She was having problems with headaches.
Yeah, Rachel was having some headache problems, and doctors were probably a little bit surprised. In fact, I believe when you read the reports, you'll see that the person looking in her ear, giving her an exam, actually left the room to go get and confer with someone else. Now, I don't know about you, Bob, but if I go to the doctor and they got to go seek a second opinion while I'm still sitting there, they got to have somebody else come in the room and go, hey, come look at this. Needless to say, she discovered that she had maggots in her head, and it was due to something that you were familiar with. It's called a screwworm.
Yeah, it's just like any other maggot. It's from some kind of a fly. And it must somehow it must have found a way there to lay eggs, and hence the maggots. Yeah,
if you go to the weird news section, it's the third one over, and you'll see the photo there. It is going to be featured on one of these educational type shows that's done, the Bugs, Bites, and Parasites show. It's in the UK, and they'll be airing that as well, and you can get, unfortunately, more information than you'd probably want on poor Rachel Harris's illness. So I know we didn't really get to the Rolling Stone thing real quick. Bob, your thoughts on Jahar being on the front of Rolling Stone magazine? What were your thoughts on that?
Flashbacks of Jim Morrison and the singer of NXS. He's a rock star, and one of the more famous commentators on television and columnist Michelle Malkin had a witty little thing to say about Rolling Stone magazine, saying it should be retitled as the Tiger Beat for Terrorists.
Yeah, it's a little bit of hyperbole there out of Miss Malkin, but we have to concur that it is sort of a glorifying thing. If you don't know, this is the Boston Bomber. He's going to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. There are several businesses that are coming out now, so they're not going to carry that month of the Rolling Stone, so they're going to be boycotting that process because it really does glamorize him a lot on the cover. So we don't know much about the details of the story, but that is kind of that. So with that, we'll close out our show, this week's Dispatch Radio. Check out everything at theglobaldispatch.com. You click the Dispatch Radio button, you'll go to the page. You can see listen to the podcast, see all the different links to stories, that kind of thing. I want to thank all of our guests helping us out, trying to understand cyclospora, the outbreak that's going on in the Midwest there. Dr. Patricia Quinslicks, Mike Smith, of course, from Media Mike, Stephen Solomon, Tampa Bay Comic-Con. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week we have a confirmed guest that's going to come on from the Straz Center over in Tampa to give us an update on some of the arts and theater programs they have there, some of the events going on, some of the stuff they have for your kids and students to do. And then, of course, we'll have some sort of a health guru that we have a whole list of things lined up. We're trying to confirm which one will be on with us next week, as Bob is the expert of the outbreak of the world.
Yeah, and while I'm here, I'd like to invite readers of theglobaldispatch.com to visit the different hub pages. Whether you're looking for movies or television or outbreak news, check out the hub pages, a wealth of information.
Thank you, folks, again. Theglobaldispatch.com. Talk to you again next Saturday.
I'm the street lights that guide you home. I'll be the GPS when you've lost your phone. I'll be the song that's rocking